Good morning, everybody. You're listening to Keeping It Real Estate with Gavin and WBTA and the lovely Nici. Good morning, Nici.
Good morning, Miss Gavin. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing good, too. I'm excited because we are about to do one of my favorite episodes every month. I love this one.
The monthly market update.
Love it. I love it. I love it.
It's a fun one because we can kind of revisit and rehash what happened month over month and year over year in the Glow region. So
it is. And I just want to say it's funny because I actually look forward to this every month.
I know you do.
In comparison to, because it always kind of surprises me in one of the different aspects of
like that.
How many houses were on the market or who had the most in regards to how people were purchasing, whether it was cash or financing. Or it's just interesting how it changes sometimes so much in such a short amount of time.
Exactly. And I think a big reason behind that, Nici, is because we're talking about relatively small numbers.
Yeah.
And, so things can really switch and swing from month to month and year over year. So that's really important. But today we're going to break down what happened in the Glow region in October 2025. So just to refresh everybody, we're looking a month back. We are just getting the stats in from last month now, hence the monthly market update. So we'll be looking at Genesee, Livingston, Orleans, and Wyoming counties and what it means if you're thinking about buying or selling as we head into the rest of the year in the Glow region.
Yes, let's do it.
So from a big picture, a region, big picture in the Glow region, closings were up. So single family closings were up from 141 closings in September up to around 176 in October.
See, that's a big jump.
It's a big jump. And so again, do the math. We've discussed on the show that it typically takes about 60 days, más o menos, to close. And so that's that sort of lagging trend that I saw, that we never had that big pop in being the summer. It kind of came later. So now we're reaping the benefit later on now.
Yeah.
So in October, we had around 176, and that was up 25%. Like you said, it's a big jump month over month.
No, that one is for sure a surprising.
So that's really interesting. Countywide, the median sold price between $208,000 and $292,000.
That's a big jump, too.
So that's a lot.
A big number.
That's a big number. So, when you're thinking about where do most first-time home buyers get pre-qualified, or what are they thinking in their head, or any buyer, a repeat buyer, of where they're thinking, really where the median sold price was between $220,000 and $290,000 throughout the Glow region. Days on the market throughout the Glow region were in the low to mid 30s, meaning 30 days on the market.
Which is about average, right?
Yeah, it's strong. Healthy, but not frenzied.
Okay.
And new listings, steady to slightly higher year over year in pockets of the region, which means that we had more balanced leverage. So we're going to break down county by county of where we had those new listings, but year over year, we're kind of balanced. We haven't gone down, we haven't spiked up. It's just really signaling this healthy, not frenzied market.
Yep, which is good.
Steady Eddie, okay?
Okay.
I want to frame kind of my overall theme for the market update, and I think where we are in the region as a whole. I would say that we are in a skills-based market.
What?
We're not in a seller's market. We're not in a buyer's market. We are in a skills-based market. And what I mean by that is that strategy matters.
Oh.
Okay, sellers.
Okay.
You can't just say, it's a seller's market, I'm putting the sign up, forget it, I don't have to do anything else. No, you need to talk about your strategy in terms of pricing, presentation, updates, maintenance, and all those things. Your strategy into how you're going to present your home to sell is going to matter. Buyers, same thing. It's not a buyer's market. We aren't plentiful in inventory. We have more inventory than we've seen in a long time, but you still need to strategize. You need to be prepared to be competitive buyers. Get those pre-quals up to date. Make sure that you understand your numbers and your budget. Understand where you want to buy, where you don't want to buy. What are deal breakers? Because I can guarantee, as I've been speaking with buyers this week alone, that when a home does come up that you really like, chances are there's a lot of other people that like it for the same reasons. And so you need to be prepared. So that's why I'm calling this a skills-based market right now.
Okay.
And that strategy matters for both buyer and seller.
I like it.
Okay? So let's do a deep dive into Genesee County.
Alrighty.
So We were 20% up in the median sales price month over month and 28% up in sales price year over year. So the median was 291,711. The median sales price in Genesee County in October 2025.
Wow.
And that was up 20% month over month and 28% year over year.
Wow.
So prices are still going up. Our inventory is still low. You know, we've got more than we've seen in a while, but in Genesee County, those prices are still up there. That's not changing, folks. Okay? So both for buyers and sellers, take note of that. Our average days on the market in October 2025 were slightly faster than the year prior at 34 days on the market, meaning it took 34 days for it to have an activity status change to go under contract. Not that it closed in 34 days. It went under contract in an average of 34 days. Some quicker, some longer. Okay? And that's still really stealth. That's pretty healthy. Genesee County new listings. We had, and when I say new listings, I include active listings that are there that haven't gone under contract yet, as well as brand new listings. And we had 101. 101, and that's a bit more choice year over year.
Yeah.
So in October of 2024, we had less listings and choice in 2024 than we did in October 2025. About 101 listings. So that's great. That's signaling some health in the market and more choice for buyers. But it also signals for sellers in Genesee County that you've got competition.
And the strategy and skill comes in.
Strategy, skills, market, right? So my interpretation in Genesee County, October 2025, strong demand for well-presented homes, like I just mentioned. When there's a house that comes on the market, it's presented well, it's in good condition, it's priced right, chances are you're going to have multiple buyers interested in the same property. Okay, higher price points are being absorbed without blowing out the days on the market. So again, when you've got that higher priced home, and a lot of people are saying, oh my goodness, these homes are still really highly priced. Sorry, they're being absorbed in 30 days or less. There are buyers out there for them, and in some cases still multiple buyers. So buyers, if you're thinking that that house is still just not worth it to me, don't worry, don't feel bad for the house. It's going to get sold because they are moving in 30 days. Okay.
I know that pain, though. Just know I know that pain.
I know, and that's just how it is, guys. You know, so because we have low inventory on average still, again, if it checks the boxes for you, it's checking boxes for other people. For buyers and sellers, you're going to want to take advantage of that. But gone are the days where you just put the for sale sign up. You've got to work with your agent to present your listing properly. So my major takeaway for Genesee County, if you price in today's lane, you know, where the prices make sense based on the data, working with your agent, and if you show your home well, the market will meet you there.
Yeah.
So that's major
what
takeaway.
You're seeing it, yeah.
Absolutely. It gets absorbed. It gets sold, okay?
Okay.
Moving on to Livingston County. For October 2025, the median sales price was $218,226.
Wow. Okay.
Above $200,000, folks. That's 2% over month from September to October of this year, but it's up 42% year over year from October 2024 to October 2025. So again, that kind of points to the fact that we didn't have that traditional big bang in the beginning of the summer. It came later, and it pushed those homes that were ready and the sales price later on in the year.
Wow.
So that's a big jump. It's a bit of an anomaly given what happened this year. But your median sales price in Livingston County in October of 2025 was around $220,000.
Wow.
Your average days on the market was 33, okay, and that was up over last year's at a very fast speed. So we really lessened the time from active listing to contract in October 2025 in Livingston County. Things went faster this year than they did last year.
Yes.
Okay, again, because we kind of lagged that traditional summer seasonality, and it pushed later into the summer, and things are now going under contract later. We kind of persisted into the fall.
Okay.
Listings overall in Livingston County, we had 142, and that was up month over month, and certainly that was, again, a sign that we kind of pushed into the fall to have our more traditional active season, but it was down year over year. From
really?
October 2025 to October 2024, we had less listings this year than we did last year. Okay, just a little seed of thought there. So my interpretation, year over year, we had a big price growth in Livingston County. The pace is normal. It's not frantic. It's that 30-day marching on, status change going under contract. So it's not frantic. It's not crazy, but it is swift still.
Yeah.
Buyers are choosier, I'm finding, particularly in Livingston County. And, kind of throughout the region, too, that condition matters and accurate pricing matters. And that's where sellers get rewarded. If you're positioning your listing properly, working with an agent, the condition is great, and your pricing is accurate, you're being rewarded for that in Livingston County. So
I like it.
Livingston County is a classic example of a market that's matured out of the frenzy that we saw in the last several years, but is still very strong. Okay,
Yeah.
It's not like it's bottomed out. It's that we're not frenzied. We're just mature and strong and steadily moving forward.
It shows, and big time. Okay.
So that's Livingston County. Orleans County, a little bit of a reality check here. So the data is that the median price in 2024 in October was $269,000 and change. And that was actually down 12% month over month. As you might recall, last month we had like this little spike in Orleans County.
Yeah.
But year over year, October 24 to October 25, we had a 47% year over year growth percentage in the median. So again, we had that kind of delay of the season of real estate in the Glow region. We had listings hit in the summer later, so that kind of shows the price growth here in Orleans County. Days on the market, we were about 35 days on the market to go under contract.
Okay.
And month over month, that was kind of flat. That kind of stayed the same, which is good. But year over year, it was faster.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So that's interesting. Listings altogether, new listings and existing listings in October of 2025 in Orleans County, we had about 100. So month over month, it was down, but year over year, it was up.
Yeah.
Okay. And so my interpretation of that data for Orleans County is that the month over month dip that we had September to October in 2025 is a bit of a mix. It's not a collapse. It's a different variety of homes going on the market. Maybe they're fixer-uppers, maybe there's some higher end mixed in there, but it's a mix. It's not a collapse. And it's still way up year over year.
And I think too, and I don't know if this counts, but like a lot of the homes, you get more property. You get more with the home
Yes, you
itself.
can. It's possible. And you're thinking about in Orleans County village properties.
That's what I'm thinking.
Versus rural
Yeah.
properties. There's a mixture there. So you're right about that, Nici.
As opposed to like Batavia, you're getting a lot.
City stuff, right? Yeah. So there's certainly a mix. That's a good point, Nici. And the more listings we had more choice up there. And so pricing discipline is really critical. You're seeing, I think, throughout the region when things aren't priced right, they're sitting on the market and the seller's motivated, you are seeing price adjustments. So again, pricing off the bat is critical. I mean, I know a lot of sellers say, well, I just want to give it a shot. That's fine. It depends on what your motivation is. It is your property to sell. But with more listings, buyers have more choice. And they're comparing apples to apples if there is a comparable property in terms of what the pricing is out there. So that's what's really critical in Orleans County. And I would say throughout the region. But if you're in Orleans County, this is where, with the situation like this, overpricing gets exposed really quickly.
Okay.
You can see right away, okay, we've got a little bit more choice. We've got more apples to compare. And so it stands out like a sore thumb if your price isn't right.
Yep. Okay.
So that's really critical.
And I know we've done a whole episode alone
on pricing
and the whole idea of not having to
adjust,
lower and go up and come back on. And
if you do, you do. And again, that's always based on the market, guys. What we're talking about in terms of pricing today is going to change three months from now, 6 months from now. It might even change a week from now because we're heading into that part of the season with the holidays. But pricing always matters. It always matters. No matter.
I'm excited for when we get to do the December monthly market with the holiday
It'll be
season.
interesting.
I'm very curious to hear about that. But we'll stick with October. We're still in October.
Absolutely. So continuing on in October 2025, let's talk about Wyoming County. So with Wyoming County, we had a really small sample of inventory in Wyoming County in October. Just a handful of listings and a handful of sales. So what that translates to is big swings in numbers because we had a really small sampling. So just keep that in mind. The median sales price in Wyoming County in October 2025 was $287,750. Wow. And because we had such a small sampling, month over month, that was up 25%.
Yeah.
Okay. But year over year was up 20%. So, but again, small numbers, small amount of properties. So, that skews the data a bit. So just be aware of that, folks. Days on the market in Wyoming County, October 2025 was about 37 days. And that was actually an improvement month over month from September. So things are pushing. And in Wyoming County, you get a mixed bag of things there too. Similar to Orleans County.
Right.
Village properties in Perry and Warsaw versus more of those rural acreage rich kind of hobby farm properties as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's a big mixture there. So, just note that the small sampling we have there creates for like noisy stats. So you might think, wow, they went 25% up month over month in price and 20% year over year, but we're talking about a small sampling of inventory in Wyoming County in October. So just be aware of that. My interpretation with Wyoming in October in 2025, it was directionally strong. That rural lifestyle really speaks volumes in Wyoming County, and quality listings were still pulling and pushing those solid numbers there. So get a quality listing in Wyoming County. Again, one of those, maybe those secondary homes or those kind of luxury listings with acreage, that's what really pushed the market in October of 2025.
Wow.
Every Wyoming County property needs sort of a custom comparative market analysis last month. There wasn't a lot of properties to compare apples to apples to because it was such a small sampling. So the averages don't really tell the whole story here. So if you have questions about that, call me, contact your real estate agent because that sampling was so small. That's my major takeaway there. You really need a custom market analysis per property.
And that makes sense. Okay.
So overall in the Globe region, what this means for buyers and what this means for sellers. Sellers, this market rewards you when you do the following. And I know I sound like a broken record, but
do it again. Tell us.
It warrants saying, okay? Prices based on the current comparables, not 2021 nostalgia. Not when back in the day we didn't have to do much and it sold in 30 seconds or less. We are not there. So sellers, you reap the rewards when you are pricing it right on current comparables in the last 6 months, when your presentation is clean, bright, decluttered, and you have professional photos and you're working with an agent to guide you in the best presentation possible for your listing. And I would also say this, when you've got flexible showings, when you can be flexible with the scheduling and the ability to show the home. We have more owner-occupied homes than we have had in a long time. Okay, in COVID, we didn't really have that. We had a lot of unoccupied homes, and they're easy to show. And so when people can get in there and it's easy to show and schedule the appointment and they understand when offers are due and everything, that ease with which to look at a home and dissect a home and decide whether or not it's right for you says a lot about its ability to sell quickly. When we have a lot of restrictions on showings, like you can only show from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., every other Sunday, we have a problem. Because if you're not getting bodies in there and you're not having showings, it's just not easy for people to get offers in there. So flexible showings equals more traffic equals better offers.
100%.
Okay, so be aware of that. And I know that gets a little tricky this time of the year with people working from home. The weather, you've got animals, you've got to get the kids out and everything. You've got to create the best experience possible. But the more flexible you can be, sellers, the better off you are.
I just want to ask, too, real quick, because I know a lot of times people will sell a home that they're still currently living in, as opposed to selling a home that is completely vacant. Do you ever notice one over the other tends to draw more traffic and or a faster offer?
I think it really depends. It goes back to the point of how easy is it to show.
Okay.
And how is it presented in that listing? It's a good question. I don't think there's favoritism one or the other, but I think it's all about price, presentation, how easy is it to show, when are offers due. I will say that when you have an owner-occupied home, environmental things make an impact. Let's say that you left all the pet bowls out. And maybe it's not as clean as normal because your home when you're living in it is not a museum, of course.
Right.
But maybe you just cooked breakfast and then you left the house and the showing was an hour later and we still smell things that maybe isn't favorable to that particular buyer.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have thought about something like that.
It's the experience that really they realize. They get tuned into like your habits of living in that home, maybe more so of them seeing themselves and living in the home themselves. So a blank slate, that's what we always say. Like it should look like no one's living there. although I know that's virtually impossible when you are living there, but the most clean and fresh it can be and kind of present that you're not living there, the best experience it is for the buyer so they can actually visualize themselves in the home and not what you had for breakfast.
See, and I always thought like a staged home would look better than just an empty home.
Yes, and I agree with that too. Now it depends. Let's qualify staging.
Yeah, you're
if
right.
If we've got a lot of your stuff and we've got a lot of personal things that don't resonate with the average person, we have a lot of personal photos, or as we get into seasonality here, you've got a lot of seasonal decor and things like that.
True.
That can be a turnoff for people.
You're right. Okay.
I think light staging is the key. A lot of people don't have vision. If they see a big empty room and they don't understand how their couch might fit in it, sometimes a nice dining room table or minimalist staging is helpful to the average person to see themselves there. But sometimes it depends on the home, of course, and the uniqueness of it and the floor plan. I rather have a home that's empty versus full of stuff because
overbearing.
Yes,
yeah.
Because people will say, "Well, when are these people leaving? They're never going anywhere."
It looks like they got a lot of work to get out of this
And it's important to see the house because a lot of times buyers will fall in love with the furnishings, and then they get there for the final walkthrough and they realize, "Oh my goodness, I didn't realize the house looked like this."
It's true.
Yep. So
okay.
Anyway, in the stronger pockets of the Glow region, Genesee County for sure, and parts of Livingston and Wyoming County, you can still definitely sell confidently when you're realistic. Realistic in your price, realistic in your staging, realistic in your expectation of how long it's going to take to sell. So for buyers, more balance means less panic for you, but the best homes still move in about a month or less, as we've seen, maybe around 30 days, in some cases a little higher. So that means buyers, you must be pre-approved, and you need to know your payment comfort zone. Be prepared, like I said again, and use real comparables, not internet myths when you're negotiating. Work with your agent. If you're reading something on Instagram that says it's a buyer's market and you can do whatever you want to do, that's probably not relevant to the immediate market here in the Glow region.
True.
So, October confirmed for us that we are steady. We're opportunity rich in this market across the Glow region, which is really great news for both buyers and sellers. So if you want to know what this data really means to you as you are trying to realize your real estate goals in the Glow region, give me a call at 585-344-1321. I'm happy to do a custom county or zip code level market snapshot for you, a custom market analysis. Pricing and prep consultation, we can do that too. Buyer or seller consultations, we can do that and get ready now for 2026.
There we go. That's a lot, and I love it all. And I so thank you for coming in and breaking this down. As always, I can't wait till next month to hear this month's market update. And of course, so on and so forth. I'm looking forward to December.
December's going to be interesting. We're going to see where we're at. So if you guys are tracking this episode or this information, it's going to be interesting, and we'll make sure we highlight that. So
yeah, for sure.
But thanks for joining us today. We're keeping it real estate with Gavin and Nici here on WBTA. We'll see you next time.
As always, have a wonderful week, and yes, we will be back next week.